Hello, I found something neat on CMR On Prem and I wanted to share that. So this is something light and shallow. If you're looking for anything deep diving into CMR On Prem, this is not the video for you. But just real quick, this is my CMR On Prem environment, and just a high level, here's my TMS. That's a Telepresence Management Server. Um, it has TMS PE, that's the provisioning extension that gives you the CMR. If you guys are familiar with the CMR on cloud or personal rooms, this is the personal rooms on premises architecture, or includes or enables, I guess would be the right word, the CMR on-prem architecture. So you have TMS and TMS provisioning extension. You have the conductor, and you have the telepresence server itself. So the telepresence server is the, in the traditional world, we would think of it as DSPs. This is the thing that sums up the audio and video and screen share, and then sends it out in Hollywood Squares or Active Speaker or whatever to the endpoints. The conductor, as its name implies, kind of conducts or orchestrates the use of all the resources being the telepresence resources. Again, I just think of that as a virtual machine with DSP farms in it, kind of something like that to keep your get your head around it. And then we have call manager or VCSs and things like that here. Anyway, so that's the architecture here. And I wanted to show you one thing that I found that I didn't find any documentation on, and I just tripped over it. So if you're familiar with, let me bring this up here. If you're familiar with constructing the UC services in CUCM, right, under user management, there are UC services that you can construct, and you put these UC services in to a UC service profile that you give a user, and then that user has access to these UC services, usually through Jabber. Usually the reason we construct these things is so Jabber can have WebEx capability, IM capability, voicemail, and things like that. So again, let me bring up this. We usually do these service profiles because we're giving Jabber some additional features. We have a UC service profile for voicemail. We have a UC service for meetings like WebEx and things like that. And we kind of put that thing into the profile, or put all the UC services, I should say, in the profile. And this gives the Jabber software the capability, the extended capabilities it has: voice, video, voicemail, WebEx, and things like that. So anyway, one thing I had seen, I think maybe starting in 10.5 or something like that, was this video conferencing, and I didn't really know what it was. But anyway, I going through all the TMS and the Tamberg stuff, I figured out what it was. Anyway, I have a video conferencing scheduling portal service, UC service, and I've put some information in here, and there's this URL I've put in there, and you'll see what that URL does here in just a second. And then I added that to a service profile, right? Got that in the service profile. You can see down here, where's my conferencing? There it is right there. And then of course I've added, attached this to some users. And let's look at one of those users. So I'm going to go to the Jack Sparrow user here. So this is Jack Sparrow. You can see up here. And you can see that, I'm going to click right there just because I didn't want to show you that first. But you can see that Jack Sparrow has voice messaging, and we're going to stay away from that for just a second here, okay? He does have voice messaging. and that again is coming from the service profile, which is coming from the UC service that we created. When you create the video conferencing service profile, it does nothing to Jabber at all, which I was quite surprised, because everything in the service profile seems to have to deal with Jabber or have something to do with Jabber. But what it does is when you log into CCM User, this is the CCM User self-care portal. And this portal is quite nice. It's all HTML5 now. I think they started that in 10. I'm running 11 here, 11.01. And it's very robust, and it's a little more, a little easier on the eyes graphically, and a little bit more intuitive. Now back to the conferencing. When you add that video conferencing UC service to the UC service profile, and that is attached to Jack Sparrow here in our case, when you log into the self-care portal, you get one other tab here. So I was quite surprised to see this tab pop up, and if you click on that tab, this is your Telepresence portal. So you can go to the Telepresence portal directly. For instance, let me bring up another, and this is how I usually was going to it, but that's another portal. So it was quite surprising to me now that it's integrated into the CCM user portal, right here. So right when I can, I can modify my phones and my single number reach and all this stuff here, and my voicemail and my IM&P availability, and I have all these other, general settings here. It's all here. I have this extra tab, and I can go into my conferencing, and then right here is my smart scheduler. So I can schedule new meetings. I can look at or create my collaboration meeting room. This is your personal room. If you're familiar with, most folks are familiar with WebEx CMR Cloud. This is CMR On Prem, and I have a collaboration meeting room, right, that I can dial into with a number, and I can also have a video address, a URI that I can dial into with a telepresence unit, a DX unit, an EX unit, or something like that. Of course, if you construct your DNS correctly and publish your SRVs externally and internally, also people can, just like WebEx Cloud, can dial in via a number or the URI. So it's the same thing as WebEx Cloud, kind of, but it is an on-prem solution. The thing I should caveat that with is this is not WebEx. So this is pure video conferencing. This is pure SIP video conferencing, and the collaboration or the web share or screen share, whatever you want to call it, is via BFCP, the Binary Floor Control Protocol. So there's not a WebEx experience here. If I were to dial into this guy, in fact, I can do that. Let's see. You can see it dials in, and it's a video conference. It's very similar to if you're a Verizon employee to the OVC stuff, since OVC is nothing more than kind of an on-prem solution in the cloud, but all this video conferencing stuff, TMS and VCSs and VTSs and things like that. Anyway, so the one thing I wanted to show you is the smart scheduler here. I can schedule a new meeting right from my self-care portal here. And this is where, if we had CMR hybrid, I could click that on and also add a WebEx conference to this. So this would bring a WebEx session out in the cloud that would connect to my on-prem CMR video conference. So very similar to um, you know, WebEx with CMR. It's the only way to say it. If you guys are familiar with this stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, it'll sound a little crazy. Anyway, so you can schedule, you can save. Oh, add a participant. Let's see here. I want to add a participant. Let's search for Elizabeth Swan here. There we go. We'll add her, and we'll go ahead and see that she's added there. And we can do some additional things, um, pin codes and things like that, reoccurrence, you know, things like that. And then just save that. Now, there's all kind of other options here, but I'm just going through it pretty quickly. And you can see that I got an email confirmation. So there's no thing like WebEx productivity tools or anything like that that we're using. This kind of connects up directly to your Exchange environment, and then forwards those emails and forwards those ICSs, right? So you can save them into your calendar. So I got a email with an ICS, and if we go look at Elizabeth Swan, she got an email with an ICS, and then she can click on that email, bring it up, bring that ICS up, and then save that to her calendar, and then she will have the meeting information for that. Anyway, that is it. That's what I wanted to show you. I thought it was pretty neat that this integration is done. The one negative here was the again, any UC service that goes into the UC service profile that goes into the user's profile, again, usually has to do with Jabber. In this case, it's not. It goes to the conferencing. It brings up this little conferencing thing in their self-care portal. What is kind of strange to me is I want to see something here. You know, I want to see the same URL, or I want to see something where I can control this video conference stuff in Jabber, and that's not there. In fact, the reason this meeting is coming up is because I also have WebEx CMR on this user. That's why you see that. But this particular, bring it up again, this particular down here, video conferencing scheduling portal profile, and that should kind of clue you in right there, portal profile, has nothing to do with Jabber as far as I can see and tell, and all it does is allow you to have this tab in your self-care portal. It does nothing to your Jabber, which kind of discouraging, because I really want to control everything with this one client. Again, hopefully that has been helpful to you, and thank you for watching.